Hello there, welcome to UKVersus episode 7, our first tier list, as everybody loves a tier list. I am once again joined by Shin enthusiastic extraordinaire Richard Plummer, who had their pre-release over the weekend.
I did indeed. Hello, everyone. So time for us to do a tier list. You know, the old clickbait nonsense.
Exactly, it has to
but
be
they're
done.
fun. So our plan is to go through it set by set, just so we don't get like one massive thing with every single ready character on it, because that'll be mental. So we'll start with set 5 and then try and work our way backwards to all the other sets and just sort of see how we feel about them in the current meta. And mostly there'll probably just be lots of terrible takes from both of us.
Yeah, I mean, Richard put it perfectly. We've not done anything fancy. I know some content creators have ridiculous amount of tier lists, but we've stuck with S through D as our first. I've added a pet deck to set 5 just because it isn't tried and tested. There's a lot more ambiguity around the characters, so having characters that we think subjectively are going to be good, but objectively maybe bad, you can go into the pet pick. But we're going to try, as you put it in when we were talking about it. S tier is for characters that have proven themselves consistently getting top cuts, consistently winning events. A tier is for characters that have made top cuts but not pushed themselves a bit further. B tier are for have potential for top cuts or have made top cuts occasionally. C tier is pure potential, and D tier is you're not making top cut even if you are paid by the best players.
Yeah, standard. You know, just like your S, your top, your problems, and D, these are pretty bad. And I think we should limit ourselves just to the single pet pick, and we can have that for the other sets. That's fine. Sorry, Charles just moving behind me. I think we know the pet pick for each one. It's just that character that we know is not as good as we think it is, but we've got a soft spot for them anyway.
That's why I can always add more tiers as we go on, but let's and of course. If chat want to chime in, more than happy for chat to chime in and give us some information. And hello, little one in the background.
Yeah, sorry, that's the child just sort of lurking in the background.
Yeah. So
I don't expect many, if any, of set 5 to necessarily be an S tier, simply because they're all sort of unprovens, right? At least sort of that's how my.
This is why I wanted to start off with set 5, because it's a case of this is going to be the most hyperbole, theoretical hypothesis ones, where we're literally going, this is where we foreshadow what we think is going to be relevant in the next upcoming, especially seeing as how Jasco are making a push on set 5 as one of the criteria to get one of the 3 boxes over this season is play a set 5 character.
Yeah.
And of course, we'll get through to that, but I think there's a couple that easily slide into S tier, but let's start off with Lemillion, Mr. Michael Apple's favourite character, Mirio. Now, I'm honestly going happy to put it straight into A.
Yeah, A sort of top of A was my thinking. He could be S. He's not a complex character, right?
No.
He just sort of has some very simple words on his face, but his very simple words are quite powerful, and just making, everything lows. Oh, you're holding a yellow box. Now this turn I'm making everything highs. Cool. That sort of thing. And just having that once per turn, as long as he gets momentum, which is reasonably straightforward to getting him, I think. Just saying no to an attack.
It's the fact.
You know how good punches are.
It's the fact there are throw punches, which he's not keyword getting against throw. It's the fact there's throw slams. So he's guaranteed to get access to it from somebody, but it's a case of this. Zero 1 has always been on the cusp of getting into consistent top cuts. It's just that the Zero 1 couldn't kill you effectively. Mirio just goes, you're not running tape swing, but everything's coming at you from from off zone, and everything gets +2 damage.
Yeah, I think he's good. I think, again, it's just sort of one of those ones when you just need to see him in the wild, right?
Yeah.
He could be
high A, potential for S, but I know a lot of people are basically saying Overhaul has been overhyped and is overshadowed a lot of characters in the set.
yeah.
Mirio being one of them, and it's no offense like previous star set ones because I love All for One, but these two feel like the most playable starter characters we've got that are going to be consistently good.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I mean, just adding 2 damage and everything is just good, right? Pure stats are always just good, and being able to change the zone is, I think, sneaky good.
And before I have Nathan and Nick coming at me as well, Endeavour 2 is also very good, but
I think actually all the starter characters are very playable. Like even Deku 1 had his time in time in the sun, right? I think Bakugo 1 gets a lot better this set. Spoilers for later on. Obviously, Eraserhead 2 recently topped an event. Endeavour 2's been topping a bunch of events recently.
They're all very good, but I wouldn't put them. I wouldn't go look at Endeavour 2. I wouldn't look at All for One or All Might 6. All Might 5. Yeah, All Might 6. And it's got immediately these are A tier. I have to go away and actually look at what attacks they've got. I look at it as off so with +2 damage objectively without looking at any other cards that they can use. This is a good card.
Yeah. So yeah, stick him in A. So Overhaul will be our next one. So he's probably the one that's got the most hype, right? Everyone loves him. So first in. So just quick run through: Earth, Evil, Alive. First enhance once per turn. Build 1 card from your hand face down. Response: flip 1 foundation after the block step of your attack gets +2 damage. It deals damage. If it deals damage, gain 1 health.
So you're only ever doing that if it's doing damage.
Yeah.
It's after the block.
And enhance once per turn. You may play 1 face down card from your stage face up to your next card. Ignoring progressive difficulty. If it's your rival's turn, discard 1 card. So all of that's good. I don't think he's a straightforward character to build, right? He's one of those ones that I think could be very, very good.
I would
card advantage. He sort of has stats on face in that response. Yeah, just being able to build a card and gain resources during the turn to then play that.
It's the build ability is not as powerful as it was in Kirishima 2, where you were just destroying a foundation and getting to draw a card, but it is just straight up build.
Yeah,
and you also are essentially an 8-hander if you haven't got anything in your hand when you block on your opponent's turn, but most times you're a 7-hander once you've got a setup.
So my sort of feeling with him is he goes top of A until he proves it.
I would just slide him into S because of the hype, because of how many people are excited to break him. The way he interacts with Season Advantage, Hard and Jab, all this Earth package that has already been dominating with Ojiro and basically you slide an Earth character into this build and you're going to do well. And Overhaul's now coming and going, yeah, and now we can outbuild you, out damage you, gain life, and play from face down, ignoring progressive.
Yeah. Again, he's just not a character I've necessarily looked at myself too much.
No, but it's just like the case of going back alley into jab, into Texas, and then you go, oh cool, I'm now just going to place back alley from my stage on a 5.
Yeah, I mean, I certainly think he's one of the characters that has the most potential here, right? I just don't think he's necessarily like a straightforward build. Like Mirio feels to me like a straightforward. You just put good punches in him and he does the thing. I mean, I'm happy to put him in S, but I think it sort of remains to be seen from my perspective. Is that someone sort of I want someone to show me the build with him that does the thing, because he's not necessarily my sort of character, right? I don't think he's a character I'm necessarily looking at to begin with. So I'm excited what people are going to do with him.
I've played a couple of games on Evil with him, with the breakers, and the fact that you can just keep cycling breakers. I know a lot of people aren't really hyped on Impact Recoil because it's a 5-2. In Overhaul, it's a 5-4. But it's the fact that you can go block, impact, recoil, commit to one foundation, build it down. Block. If you've got no cards in hand, you then get to go. Cool. I'm gonna block with impact, recoil, use an overhaul, commit another foundation, build it down.
Yeah. He's got a lot of Kirishima too.
He's a very versatile character, and the life gain was unnecessary. The life gain is just nuts.
But yeah, we could leave him in S. That's fine. We'll leave him in S for now.
Kirishima 3.
Yeah. I think he goes in B. I don't think he's bad, but I think a lot of the things he does, other people would necessarily be better. Like having on face throw hate is nice. Stopping partial blocks, effectively sort of making partial blocks embarrassing is good. Like their foundation destruction thing, I don't know whether he adds up enough to me. Again, I don't think I put him in A. My inclination, I don't think he's bad. Again, it's that B is that there's some potential there, but it doesn't feel like as much as other characters. It wouldn't surprise me if someone topped with him, but I wouldn't expect someone to top him.
I would put, from what I've seen on other people's streams where they've been playing him, I would put him into A. But because I pushed so hard to get overhaul into S, I'm happy to put him into B because it would be low end of A. I can see the potential. The death builds seem absolutely nuts for this guy. But it's one of the things that a Fury Kirishima is going to be very interesting, and I can't wait to see what people brew. But it is something that's going to have to be proven.
Yeah, it's just like one of those things. Is like is doing that on him better than say doing it on like a Bakugo 2 or a Bakugo 1 or something of those lines.
Yeah.
Or like a Tabe or a Shigaraki or something of those lines. So yeah, I'm happy with like top of B, bottom of A, maybe that sort of thing.
Fat Gum 1.
Yeah. My gut says he's a C, but I also my gut says that part of that is because I'm not really a big five-hander player.
I'm not a big,
and he might be a lot better than I'm giving him credit for.
I get the building. I love the assets and all this. It just seems so punchable. For me, I'm not. I know we're probably going to get a lot of hate for this, but I was completely underwhelmed when I saw Fat Gum. Fat Gum 2, I'm a little bit more for, but it's the absolute hoops you have to jump through to get Fat Gum 2 down, and then you're already in a weird position.
He's very much when I switch to Fat Gum 2, I have to kill you this turn. That's how it feels. I think he's a C for me.
I think C. I'm happy with C. We got Steve in the chat saying he's a bit of man in my opinion. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I think he's fine, and I think he's certainly a character that pushes a lot of buttons for people that they enjoy. I'm just not a five-hander gamer.
I'm happy to be proven wrong by him, but I feel like what he's trying to do, other characters are already doing better.
Yeah. I'm happy for someone to prove me wrong with that gun, but for now I'm going to go C.
Shall I just put Deku 4 straight into S tier?
No.
Powerful 4 on everything, regardless. So you get to add that threat. Drawing 3 cards in your rival's turn seems decent. You're going to have fun going second no matter what. I am so glad Ready Get Set Go is banned because that is just going to be nuts to this guy.
Yeah. Again, it's that kind of, is he better at doing the good punch thing or, the void punch thing than other characters, right? Or life punches.
And I guess,
is he better doing that than say like an All Might 3 or some of those lines, right? That's to me is and the same with these other characters. Like there's for Overhaul, I can go with being an S because it's quite possibly the best person now to take that kind of jab, Haymaker, Earth package and do stuff with that. Deku 4.
on his face
I
without
think he's
taking.
very good. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
And being able to just power before everything is
if we
good.
don't take into account the attacks, like how much speed and those attacks get and stuff like that, then on his pure face, yeah, I'd say A tier because uh, damage doesn't kill you, speed does, and Deku's
Yeah.
attacks, although look threatening on his face,
They're kind of blockable, right?
they're kind of blockable until you actually get into his kit and all the other stuff that's going on. Then the speed boost of life and good and void. Then yeah, but on his face, if I was looking through the cards there, it'd be high on my to playlist in a sealed environment because of the card draw and the damage. But unless I open sufficient speed, I would be unless I'm running enough speed to make my attacks deadly. They're completely blockable.
Yeah. And like, is he better at taking that punch pack, as I say, than an All Might 3 or like a Noma or something like that, like who just effectively gets a free power 4? Like, he's probably, to me, top of a
Yeah,
maybe.
that was going to be my next question. Do we put him above Mario? Because
I think he's got a little bit more going on than Mirio.
But yeah, I think Midoriya 40 will easily jump into S class once people start getting the builds.
Yeah.
Uh,
So yeah, we've got Mr. Apple in chat
yeah.
who's saying Deku 4 is S plus tier to me, and he put Kiwi 3 ahead of Mirio. But possibly, right? I think a lot of these we're trying to guess their potential, right? Well, I haven't really necessarily played a lot with them, haven't necessarily built with them. So these are very much our hot takes, right? So we are almost certainly going to be wrong on a bunch of these, but these are just like our
this is our first tier list, so we're just playing. But yeah, I Kiri 2 is very good for me. It's just a case of, for me, Kiri 3 suffers from the 7-handed issue. As defensible as he is, he's still very squishy.
Yeah, the format certainly at the moment is not friendly to 7-handers, and I don't think his ignore a throw once per turn is good enough to necessarily keep him alive. And we'll get to a couple of 7-handers that I think could get there, and I think probably go into sort of A, maybe yes, but well, that's going ahead. So Rapper.
Yeah.
He's good. I kind of think he might be a little overhyped, but again, I'm probably wrong. Like, his check hacking is really good. Him being able to replay a thing is really good.
I mean, check hacking on face has been around with Ochako 3. It's just they've never been really relevant. But
like, he's hard locked to punches, right? Yeah. If he had good somehow, I might be a bit more in. But like, what are the punches like on? He's got his own kit, right? Evil, Fire and Order. I suppose all the Deku 1 stuff is order punches. I don't know what fire punches are about.
Bernoni.
Yeah, better than only a fire. Again, like, I think he has potential, right? That check hacking is bonkers good. Just being able to, if you let me hit you, I'm going to replay this card again. Very good.
Essentially, he goes. I have Echo that has a different cost.
Yeah. Again, I'd probably put him down like A tier, like bottom of A. I'd put him below Mirio, certainly.
I know.
Or he might be in Kiri tier for me. In that, I think there's potential there. He might be good. The time there's a
just because of how good punches have proven themselves in the past and how good Fury is in itself and stuff like that. I think he does belong in A tier, but towards the bottom of it.
So to answer your question, Apple, he's asking, are these ranked in terms of the set or the whole meta? So these are just sort of how we feel they sit in the meta currently. So we're just doing this set and how they will be going forward in sort of the competitive environment. So it's like S tier are the ones you expect to be top 16 and you'd be surprised if they weren't. A's are one that will be there. And S tiers are the top thing, the top dogs that you could see winning. A tiers are you're going to make up your top 16s. B's, you might get one or two in a top 16 type thing, maybe not. Are going to be good locals decks. C's are your fun decks, like your interesting guys, but you wouldn't expect them to top. And D's are your like low rank, not very good.
Yeah,
So we do like tier.
we're trying to theory craft as to, for example, in 3 weeks when we get the first RLE, the webcam RLE, what is going to be top 16. And I do think we're going to see Overhaul easily in the top 16, and then we'll see some Dekus, some Mirios. But then we're not. It's also not limited to set 5 characters. If it was limited to only set 5 characters, which possibly the July MMM will be, then we'll see from there. But yeah, generally, as Rich said, S class characters are guaranteed. We're going to think they're at least going to win some events throughout season 2. A tiers are going to see them in top 16s winning a couple of events. B tiers will hit some top cuts, but generally just a bit more competitive than C tiers, which are more fun pet decks, which may top cut, but very unlikely. And D tier is you'll have fun playing them, but you're probably not going to walk away from it too many promos.
And again, a lot of this is us trying to judge their potential, right? And so certainly for these that have had no sort of competitive outings, like we're just trying to judge where their potential lies, right? So again, it's sort of a bit really hot takes, but so yeah, I'm happy with sort of Rapper sort of down the bottom of A. Bottom of A, top of B is sort of where I see him.
Yeah. So then we move on to Nejire.
Nejire. I think Nejire is very good. But I don't quite know how good. It's got defense and offense on face for that -1 permanent health, which a lot of the times isn't necessarily a cost, but you can't press that button all the time, right?
No.
As the health gain, so really they're not quite a 21 health. They're going to be like a 23, 25, 27 health character. So they've got a bit more of that longevity that the current 7-handers don't necessarily have.
Just to answer Apple's question, D tier is Dabby Guy tier. It is Dabby Guy tier, but Dabby 1 is no longer D tier. He has moved up to C, B, and A tier in most people's tier lists. And some, like Travis Tanger and stuff, have credited me in moving up Dabby 1 in case of we'd overlook the character, and then this guy just shows up playing Dabby 1 and just starts. This one guy is able to play Dabby 1.
Well, that's what our pet pick tier is for. So we get one of those per set each. Again, I sort of agree with you, Apple. Like Tim Keefe tier. Like it's sort of again that sort of reminiscent of the recent one in Barrow, right? But like obviously, I think other people have said it before. Tim Keefe could top cut with a slice of bread,
Yeah.
So
I mean, the once per turn heal means you're essentially more annoying than Recovery Girl with your health.
No one's gonna be more annoying Recovery Girl.
You can gain 4 over the course of both turns.
Yeah, I kind of feel like she is one of those characters that I think a lot of people are going to pick up and play. I think a lot of people will look at that and like what she does, has good symbols to play with on her stuff.
Oh, I think
Nejire Wave is Busto.
It's going to be a waifu tax. It's going to be a waifu tax, definitely.
I almost want to put her in S. But she's S or high A to me.
I'd say between Mirio and Rapper A tier.
Okay.
Not quite S tier. The main issue is you're not losing 2 life to give -2 speed, then checking badly is essentially just giving 2 damage to your opponent's attack.
Well, it's 1, and sometimes you might be below your maximum, right? So, yeah, I can buy between Mirio and Rapper there.
Well, it's not. You don't lose 1; you just permanently reduce your life by 1. So even if you're already below,
you don't lose any health.
You don't lose health, but you still go
Yeah, the
down.
maximum. Yeah.
Yeah.
So
But
yeah, I'm happy to put her between Mirio and Rapper.
I think she's gonna be very good, and as a resident Chaos expert, I know Chaos and Air are defensible enough to make her interesting. I think on the
Yeah, and she's
life,
obviously she's not keyword locked, right? So
no.
you can play double jab pummeling her just in case you weren't sure, Brett. You go ahead.
I was more looking at the air side of things and just being like, go jolt into, you can essentially follow the Jiro lineup, jolt into instant explosive release.
Yeah, and I guess the question comes in: is she doing what Jiro does, just worse, kind of? So it's Black Ace, Fat Gum is underrated, probably, right? I don't like.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge five hander. That was sort of where we got on with him. I don't think he's necessarily better than other five handers in the format, but and he's just not a character I'm necessarily
For the
interested to play.
majority of your time, all you're doing is committing and building one.
It's very powerful, but like I don't know.
It is very
Like
powerful,
I
but
don't see it.
so your five hander, say you're going first, you don't get to choose your hand. Yeah, on average, you're going to see three foundations. You go into your turn and you can play attack, then commit and build one. So you're going to get to, if you completely forsake your defense and draw like a god, play one attack, build four foundations, build one from Fat Gum. You're still at 8, so you're looking at turn 4 before you turn Fat Gum's ability on. In the current meta, you're not going. You have to survive to turn 4 on 29 health before you get to turn on your offensive ability. That is a big ask in the Jiro meta.
But yeah, we can. So yeah, I'm happy with Nejire where she is.
Yeah.
I think Fat Gum I could see moving, but like for me, that's where he sits right now. Sir Night Eye, straight down in D. Mill is cringe.
I'd say C above Fat Gum.
No, I put him below Fat Gum actually. I think Night Eye's cool, and I think he's gonna be a cool local
I'd
but I don't.
I'd put him above Fat Gum just because he has speed on face.
He does, and his draw and seal on.
He has defensive ability and offensive ability on face, and it's once per turn. So once your attack's blocked, once you block, you get to draw. I don't have enough confidence in him on pure, just because it's pure speed and pure card draw, to put him into B, and also because I know how cringy Mill is in itself. I would love to put him into A, B tier and say I'm confident he's going to get in, but I think
he's B at best, right? I mean, I'd say put him at top of C, bottom of B. I don't think he's actually that bad. I just obviously.
I think it's a present
I
mindset.
may have mentioned once or twice I'm not a fan of Mill. But I think actually, if you're just not doing that and just playing him as I'm going to kill you character, I think he's fine. So yeah, I think top of C, but
that's the key. People have to overlook the mill ability, because once you look at it and go, okay, I'm gonna mill 1, 2, or 3 of your cards, and then you go, I'm gonna steer into this ability. What you should be more looking at is I get to draw. I get to seal something in your stage or in your pool, and I get to essentially deal with the top of your decks, making sure you check badly. It shouldn't be your strategy is mill, as much fun as it is. It should be, I am going to control your board to make the opportune moments for me, which is what Sonata does. It's foresight.
Yeah, I think he might be better than C. Actually, I think I'd maybe put him at bottom of B.
Haha, I've talked you into B. That was my plan.
No. Like, I think he is actually fine. Yeah, I'd probably put him there.
Tamaki Amajaki. I mean,
so if he is allowed momentum, he's bonkers, right?
But he's always allowed momentum because of his passive ability.
Well, no, I mean if people actually, don't mess with your momentum.
There is cards that lock your.
The new one from this set, Instant Shining Flash. the usual ones.
But then you've got the new cards that lock stuff in your card pool, which so you can't move it, so it can't be removed anyway, which is going to mess up.
Yeah.
But
again, like his end phase, adding an attack, so adding you block with a jolt, you get to put it in momentum sort of thing.
that to me is it. The reason he
plus
gets
X, the plus X or minus X damage is very powerful. Like even without momentum, just a plus or minus 2 is very, very good. His once per game is going to be the okay. Now is when I'm going in and trying to kill you. Yeah,
that's a fair
again, he
point.
might just suffer from the 7-handed problem, right? But again, he's not quite 20 health. The same way that Takayami, right, would just -1 damage, so he was really like at 24, 25,
Yeah.
26 health. He's going to be, DRing you with his face, so he's more like 24.
Apple says Tamaki is amazing but too slow. I can get behind that. I do think, however, in water he has potential to ramp momentum quite quickly thanks to things like blood transfer, which is guaranteed momentum. In chaos, you've got pillar swing, it also works in air. He has a lot of threats on there. You've got Earth Golem. That minus we've seen with Tokiyami how much -1 to every attack can do some work. If you can -2, -3 one attack, it's pretty much the same. Especially if you can make it so that attack does no damage.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sort of with you there, Apple, to be honest. Like, top of B, like, I could absolutely see someone cracking him and being an ST character, right? I think he's got all the words that make him really good. And the format changing to position where maybe he's more allowed to play his game. Or he could just be momentum's banned now. No one's no one's allowing anyone any momentum. It's a really 7-handers have pushed even further out of the format, and he drops to C. So I think he's one of those characters that I think could move around a lot. But I think he's one of those characters that I think again a lot of people are going to try, and the big brains are going to try and break him.
He's on my test list just because of water and blood transfer, and the fact that you can do so much. Because like you're saying, even if you get with momentum, Tamaki with vast hybrid means that you're constantly adding these ones in. He utilizes them very well. You're always guaranteed -2 damage from that once per turn, even if you have no momentum, which is great. And your opponent is more going, okay, what do I block and what don't I block? Because no matter what they block on your board, one of the things they block is going to your momentum as well. And in Tamaki, it's probably
I think he's good. He's not bad at all. I'm just like, it's one of those, where do I see him slotting into the meta kind of thing.
No.
You Hojo.
Yeah, Steve's saying that he's on my list because he's got chaos. I think his chaos build is great, but I cannot get over the blood transfer Tamaki lineup. I really want to be in a game where someone blocks my blood transfer and I put a vast hybrid into my momentum face up from blood transfer. I think that's gonna. Oh, I can't.
Does the Toga one check have water? It does.
It does, yeah.
Man, that's what you want to be doing, right?
Yeah. So you want
to be getting that in your momentum. You want to be blocking with that. Put it into your momentum.
You can't. It's on
3 once per game. Draw another 3.
It's on the end of your. It's at your end phase.
Oh, you don't get to block and put it in.
You don't get to block and put it in. But
okay, fine. Use his action to do it. There we are.
That's it. You play it. You put it. You go cool. Block it. I get it. Block it. It goes to momentum. Don't block it. It goes to momentum. Either way, I'm drawing 2 cards next turn.
Is it draw 2 or draw 3? It's draw 2, isn't it? Yeah.
Draw 2.
Yeah. So and then you do once per game. So he's an 11-hander for a turn.
And if you wanted to, you could always go for that dual needle lunge. Is it lunge?
Yeah.
The dual needle mill strategy of mill 6, unflip them all, mill another 6. He's got mill options, boys.
You Hojo. First form, draw 2 cards, discard 2 cards, replay 1 attack that shares 2 or more symbols. Remove it after it resolves. Enhance, you have 10 or less health, your attack gets +1 speed, +2 damage. Enhanced destroyer foundations, gets -2 damage. Blech. Like he's like C or D.
He's a better Sato 2.
Yeah, but Sato 2 wasn't very good.
No, but that's because you had to discard at the end of the turn. This
Yeah,
is
but it's
essentially
different, right?
it's a 5-hander that allows you 2 extra reviews as well as an immediately able to play a card, and you get to remove it from progressive. So you are essentially self-milling.
Yeah, and you eventually remove all your attacks. Obviously, you are not allowed to put him at 10 or less health.
No,
Um,
that to me is the biggest thing that keeps him out of C and puts him into B. Is the moment
he's not. He's not in B. He's not in
I
B.
think he's bottom B just because if you cannot do 11 damage to him once he's at 11, you cannot kill him. You have to stop your attacks the moment he gets to where you go, okay, if he goes below 10, I can't, yeah, I'm dead.
Like, I think
So,
this guy's worse than Fat Gun. Like, I'd rather play Fat Gun than this guy.
really? He's got stats on face. They're easier to turn on. There's so much self-damage cards in there. All has access to speed and more card draw. Talented Baker in this guy is going to be absolutely nuts. Brute Strength is immediately stunned to on face and draw an additional card because you've already drawn 2 from his face. Yeah, you can run all cards. So you can run Full Frontal Assault, which you can run ones that lose life. Evil,
Again,
yeah.
you've got to make sure that every single attack in your deck shares 2 symbols, right? So there's like a bit of a restriction then that I don't like. To me, this is guy C until someone proves me inevitably wrong.
Okay, I'm putting him above Fatgum though.
Okay, fine.
That's my protest. I wanted to put him low B, but if I'm putting him C, I'm putting him above Fatgum.
Yeah.
Chronostasis. I like Chronostasis. Yes, lose 2 life, but as long as your rival... I like the clarification in Chronostasis that you both don't need to have a card in card pool. So, on his rival choice, choose 1 card each player's card pool. Those cards cannot leave. So, for Enhance, I love that one because it doesn't... it's not the cost that both cards have to be in card pool. You just choose 1, that's it. The cost is it's in rival's turn and you commit your character. So... your rival plays an attack, you go, cool, that attack's not leaving, and then I'm also going to block it. But form, lose 2 life. if your rival has at least 1 or more cards in the card pool, choose 1 breaker or tech card in your card pool and play it as your next form. Yeah, seems decent. There's a lot of tech cards, there's a lot of breaker cards on these symbols.
My inclination is D, but I don't like this guy. I don't think he's very competitively angled. Like the breaker and tech cards are cool, they're not great. Just stuffing 1 in their card pool for a commit feels very
But you've also got Chronostasis Trigger.
Yeah, that other people get to play better.
Yeah.
He's a D for me.
Can I put him C but below Fatgum?
No, he's a D. Like
Really?
again, he's fine, but I just don't think he's that good. I don't see anyone ever topping with him. I don't even think he's a good necessarily a low cost deck because he's just breaking everyone. He's a miserable thing. I don't.
There's so many breakers on Evil. I think that is going to be a great way, and it allows you to essentially you can then go, I'll block with this attack that's got tech or breaker in it. I didn't want to lose it, and then your opponent then has to go. If I launch another attack, that attack I could be facing that attack next as his first one next turn. That does also give more information to your opponent, so I get where you're coming from there, and you don't really want to be giving information away. But I do like it's case of lose 2 health, and I get to instantly replay one of his cards. And on the all symbol and on the evil symbol, that can be absolutely nuts.
Yeah, I mean, maybe I can see bottom of C. I'll negotiate. We'll go bottom of C.
Didoro Sakaki.
Now he's a D. If ever I saw one.
Response after your makes a check, add the check card to the momentum. Your rivalry checks. Twice per turn, if this attack is blocked, your rival commits 1 foundation. If your rival has 1 or more momentum, this attack gets +2 or -2 speed.
So if you want to give +2 or -2 to everything, just play a Razorhead.
Yeah.
And like, there's so much stuff in the format that's making use of momentum right now, and like,
that's
your
the
opponent.
issue.
Obviously, they're going to check. You only ever do the once per turn on a foundation, right? But you're just giving them free resources for like
There
just
is
the +2 -2 speed. I'm sure some of this kit works with it, but like
one absolute reason why this guy goes immediately into D tier, and that is All Might 4. Your entire first ability is completely shut off against All Might 4. And as much as that deck isn't around as much, momentum is becoming a big thing again. And All Might 4 might start to peek its head up again because of all these cards like Tamayaki, and there's a few other ones that just need to utilize momentum for their abilities. So All Might 4 can be like, yeah, you have momentum, I'm going to pop off and just one-shot you. And Didao Sasaki basically goes, yeah, you played Detroit Smash and check that 5. I'll make you recheck and hope you check it too.
Yeah, I don't like it. I think he's not even necessarily that fun.
I think he's fun and quirky in the right local setting. If you're in a very casual local setting, I'd be happy to build this to go to my locals with, because it's a lot more casual environment and people play weird and wonderful stuff. I think the last provision I went to down there, my first opponent was Ingenium, then it was Asui 2, and then it was Uwabami. It was a weird. The guys and girls down there do some wonderful stuff, and I love going down there. I don't get to go down as much often, so it's the kind of place I'd take that. But if I sat across from my opponent at an hourly and they flipped over Sasaki, I'm going to be sat there going, okay, yeah, I now know that I'm going to at least have some momentum. And he's also a big skill ceiling. Knowing when to pop off that recheck is a huge deal.
Yeah, he's still on the first 5. But yeah, no, he's just a D. Anyway, we can move on.
I think Fat Gum 2 goes straight into D because he can't be used as your starting character.
Yep, no, that's fine. The next one going to D. I don't like him at all.
No, see, I think Tengai goes into C for one reason. Hold hostages. Being able to play hold hostages.
But again, we're talking about competitive viability, right? And that card's seen no competitive play. And I agree, like, sure that...
But that's what C tier's for. It's a fun card that may sneak into top cuts because
I don't see this guy ever top cutting anything. I don't like this guy at all.
Apple's saying he's a high B, low A. With his own shield card. I think Tengai's got potential. Once per turn, if you have played a card from anywhere, your rival discards one card. That's in your turn. Once per turn, discard top 3 cards of your deck. After attack is played, you may play one ally card from your discard as your next form. Yeah, just being able to go. Your opponent plays when you go hold hostages, you go showdown, you get to go Sugar Rush power up. You get to do some absolutely nuts stuff. Oh no, sorry, Sugar Rush power up isn't an ally. But
no.
Summon Dark Shadow, hell, you can just drop that thing down. And if
you summon Dark Shadow, you just play Turkey Army.
Yeah, I don't think he's D tier. As much as I hate,
I think he's worse than Chronostasis. Like, I'd rather play just that guy with loads of breakers.
I'll put him bottom of C tier under high protest, but I think he should definitely be a bit further up. He's got a lot more viability thanks to the way actions now interact and the fact that they've confirmed you can play actions from outside there, and the fact that you can just go and build all these new allies, so you can go and grab training with Gunhead. If your opponent's running throws, you can go grab.
Yeah, but that didn't work with Coda. Didn't work with Coda. I don't know. Again, I'm just not. I just don't see the potential in
The
this
main
guy.
issue
But
with Coda was the it was a draw commit, and you even if you check badly, you essentially still having to commit 3 to pass a 5. Here, this is really decent. I like him, but I'm happy using C tier rather than D, even if it's at the bottom.
okay.
Lock,
Uh,
I am immediately slapping in pet picks.
oh,
I
okay. That's your pet pick. Okay.
Yeah,
So for reference, I would have said he's a B. Um, doesn't necessarily have stats on face, but is very annoying and does potentially draw a lot of cards.
I think if he
Um,
wasn't gatekeeped out of ranged, he'd be an S straight out.
no, I wouldn't say an S. I think it becomes a lot better. I mean, you're still playing 1.3 million with this guy, right?
Yeah. You always. Apple's saying that he also gets to play teamwork, which is a really good card. But yeah, his action is absolutely nuts. You're always playing 1.3. You get to essentially freeze a foundation that cannot be readied, which is a great thing to add on there. With Jolt, he's on Proud Scion symbols as well, which triggers in the after the ready up stage, but before the combat stage, which means you get to commit more down as well. He's on Dissolving the Conflict, and I cannot remember the Endeavour to start a card that you get to flip and free something. I played this against my friend Andrew Kong on
Jarring
TT.
resentment?
No, that's the Shoto card.
Oh, okay.
It's something stare.
Oh, soul piercing glare.
Or something like that. But yeah, I played this against my friend Andrew, and without 1.3 million, Lolo does nothing. So I'm happy to put. I don't think he's a B. I think he's a C because you hold a low block and he can't kill you because he has no damage buff on face. But
Yeah.
locked up, as I went over last week, is an absolutely insane card. The ability to draw 4 or 5 cards in your rival's turn is absolutely nuts. And the amount of times that I was just basically going, yeah, how many cards in hand? I'm like 6. It's like, how? It's like, you have 5 committed foundations. What are you expecting? I'm always going to be drawing.
Yeah, again, it's just one of those things where I think like his game plan currently, like Fourth Kind is just doing a lot better, right? Or Shigaraki 3.
Shigaraki 3, I can agree with on that side, and they do share a couple. I think Fourth Kind does damage better, but Lock
Yeah.
does control better than Fourth Kind. With Fourth Kind, yeah, once you build to 5, and then you either build to 10 or you stay at 5. With Lock,
Well, they're both all around punishing you for checking bad or pushing too hard, right? Because it means, okay, I'll commit the rest of you down, then just kill you in 1.3 million.
but
That's roughly the game plan, right?
Yeah, once per game's gone, Fourth Kind is a lot less threatening. Lock's a threat every single time. If he does damage, you're being frozen out. If I can get 4 or 5 of your cards committed, it's like you're playing the early game while I'm in the late game. You have to force. Basically, you go. I have to go into deadlock, and then that's when you drop the vile season. And go -2 to all your checks. What are you gonna do? He just punishes you for playing the game, and I don't think he's an A tier. I don't think he's an S tier. I think he's a high C, low B. He will get into events, and I know Liam has forbidden me from playing him because he's on his test list, and we can't play the same characters. It's too confusing for the people running the events. But I think he has a lot of potential.
Okay.
Mimic. So, Mimic, for those who don't know, whilst committing to pass a check, you may commit one asset as if it was a foundation. Response: once per turn, after you check an asset, add 1 attack with a check value of 3 from your discard to your hand. Response: after you commit an asset, this attack gets +2 or -1 damage.
D.
Apple saying that Lock will be great if you can get to deadlock your opponent. If you can fill his deck with deadlock and the opponent has to go into deadlock. Yeah. And of course 1.3 also does it. Mimic. Even with
if you're playing Lock, you have to build your deck with deadlock threats in mind, right? Because that's the way your opponent gets around you committing their stuff is just by building to 1 million, and that's like why previously the way to beat fourth kind was just to say, okay, I'm just not going to attack you. I'm going to build to 1,000,000 and what you can do about it. And then they printed Valseason, which was his answer to doing that, right? So no, you can't go in because he just plays a Valseason
Yeah,
and kills
this is where me
so,
and Liam differ on our builds. I built on order and just went around with the I'm going to kill you 1.3, and Liam went with the build of I'm going to freeze 5 of your foundations, then Searing Glacial Storm you, or Searing Glacial Storm you, then make you freeze 5 of your foundations and go, ha, you don't get to play the game.
But yeah, Mimic, like to make that response any good, you've got to play a whole load of assets, and assets don't let you pass checks. Okay, sure, he does one of them, but like committing an asset is given attack +2 and -1 damage. Like the -1's not necessarily going to come that
Even
often.
with the
You have
plus,
to play two. You're going to have to play too many assets again. So for clarity, I haven't really looked at the plus ultra stuff. So this is before we've really seen this, but I don't think this guy's good.
Yeah, with the plus ultra support, I think he's better, but I think the main issue, if it wasn't the fact you were gatekeeped to one asset per check, he'd be a lot stronger. But if you
I think there was a character that did that in Old World that was kind of busted. So
because if you open if you play Mimic and your hand is 3 assets, 3 foundations, it's pretty decent. But if you go to play a attack on a 5 and you check the 3, it's like you're still in that bad position. I do like him in defense, and I do like the new training method mimicry combo, and I think one of the biggest issue is the assets that he has aren't the greatest on symbols. You do get League of Villains bar and stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, League of Villains is great. Obviously, Twisty Surroundings is great. I'm sure his new one, like Mimicry or whatever, is decent.
I think he's overshadowed by Momo quite badly.
Yeah, he just goes in D.
I'm going to put him below Fat Gum 2 as well. That's how unplayable I think. I'm happy to be wrong. I know Sam Tate and other people have been working on Mimicry decks, and I know there's a lot of love out there for Mimicry, so I do this as like under Fat Gum is a bit of a joke, and I'd be more happy for. Mimicry is one of the ones I would absolutely love someone just coming in like King of Swiss and just go undefeated in a tournament. I would absolutely love to see that go. Rikiya Katsukami.
Yeah. This guy's another D for me.
Lose 2 life, if seconds damage, gain 2 health. Not great. Reveal top X cards of your deck. Remove one, reveal this way, and discard the rest. You may play the remove card as your next card this turn. X equals the total life you've gained this turn. So
like, what happens when you just draw 1 attack and 4 foundations, right? You're then a very real 5-hander because it's like you play your attack, you lose a health, they block it. I've not gained anything, I don't get to do anything, and you have to do that enhance on there, and also you have to do the enhance on that attack, right?
Yeah. It's also a case of basically going to your opponent, going, okay, cool, I'm mitigating all of your attacks by 1, and Tokiyami's done that really well. You can half block to get from there. But if you take 1 attack and then you go, okay, I'm going to use the ability, you're still only suing 2 cards. You're looting for 2 cards, and you're hoping to see the right block zone. You're hoping to see the right cards, and it's a very RNG inclusive defensive ability. And the main issue I don't like it, is I don't like proccing Excite for Blood in my turn. I don't like proccing my opponent's Excite for Blood. It's a very real card, and that words lose 1 health. Basically, I'm just going to hear, in response, I'm going to lose 2 and draw a card.
Yeah, this guy's a D. I don't think he's very good.
But this one I will put above Fat Gum because I can see some people doing it. But a 5-hander for 27, they're not great. Recovery Girl, he is not.
No. So Shin obviously is my pet pick, right? Yeah. That was.
You love your shell game.
I do. So again, probably in that lock tier, right? Of he's not necessarily going to be that good, like I think Shin is an S tier character if you can go through a tournament and none of your opponents guess right ever. And then he's like D if they always guess the right zone. So, because if your opponent isn't guessing right and you're playing two attacks with -1 difficulty +3 speed every single turn, that's really good. As an aggressive seven-hander, but also the format isn't great for seven-handers right now.
The main issue is how decent attacks are at the minute. It's a case of on all of those symbols, there are huge threats in every single symbol. If I'm playing air and I go, okay, I'm going to drop this card down, and you're like, okay. We go, like, we say 4 attacks in. They're all charges. I drop a card down and go, is it a Hong Kong Comet? Is it a 1.3 million volts? Let's find out together.
Yeah.
And then it turns out to be a pillar swing out of nowhere.
So, again, I love what he does. He's almost certainly like a maybe very low B, high C.
I love his response as well, just because it feels a bit Shinzo-y without pointing out it's also available in your turn. Because it lets you know what we're dealing with. It puts the All Might 3 clock on there, which is a case of you need to block everything I'm doing, or I get to see what's in your hand.
Again, that's a minor thing looking at one card, right? But he's got 0 defense on face and he's a 20 health.
He's still very squishy, but that +3 speed isn't negligible, and he's on air. So if you can get your first attack through on air, you get access to instant explosive releases, which give you access to momentum. Same on death, and then you can be throwing out howlers impacts and a serious damage.
Yeah, but yeah, again, I think he's maybe low B, high C realistically.
Yeah, I could easily see him getting there, and I expect you to get there in August.
Yeah, I don't know actually whether we'll play him or not, but we'll see.
So Saramitsu Tabe.
So my gut instinct says this guy's a B.
After your attack is completely blocked, your rival destroys one foundation. Seems decent. Your attack, remove 1 card from your rival's capital. Your attack gets +2 damage. He's better at Asui 2. You get to draw a card, you get to give the check -1, and you get +2 damage. He's a much better Asui 2, and that once per turn...
he's that Asui 2 kind of Innsmouth sort of vibes.
It's very controlling, plus you get that damage.
He's got that draw on face, assuming your opponent is blocking, or you're going to carpool stuff them.
I think B's fine, but I think below Kirishima.
Yes, yeah, I would put him below Kirishima, above Night Eyes. Where I put him.
Yeah, and then we got Toya. Once per turn, destroy 1 foundation, choose 1 attack in your rival's discard pile. You may add your next farm. Play that card. Play top card in your deck face down as a copy of the chosen attack. Enhance, flip 1 foundation. Your attack gets +2 speed. If it's a weapon, it gets +1 damage.
So this guy is just almost like the definition of C to me, right? He's really cool with locals. It's like, my locals are playing in United States Smash. I'm like, bang, I'll do it. And like flipping the foundation of +2 speed and possibly +1 damage is good, right? It's not a bad rate. But like sometimes your opponent's gonna have some really weird attacks that you can't do a lot with, and it's like, my character basically does nothing.
So on face, I thought he was just a worse monomer, but I have recently been shown a list that makes me rethink him entirely. And I think it was 34 foundations, 2 actions, and then 4 ultimate combinations. Because when Toya's attacks hit, they still go to momentum.
Right.
So you get to play the top card of your deck, and it's most likely going to be a foundation. If it hits, it goes to your momentum at the end of the turn, and you are very slowly just building up this ultimate combination of destruction. So it's literally just a poke pass deck. It will no chance win any kind of RLE, but it is a hell of a fun deck, and I think it's a very monomer line. If you can build your deck very flexibly to go around your opponent's attacks and what they're going to be playing, but you cannot run any combos. You cannot run anything that's keyword gated in terms of next decks.
I'd probably put this guy at the top of C. Yeah, that's my gut reaction with him.
I can get behind that. I think he's a character whose strength is only limited by the strength of your opponent.
To an extent, yeah.
If you ran in,
so
if you ran against if you ask Toya if you came across a Jiro player, you're kind of sitting pretty because you can go, okay, I now get access to everything you got there. But if you come across someone who's very conditional, so if you came across like the Mina deck that I ran, which was a case of all of my attacks are designed to combo with each other. It's all kind of like an engine machine. My attacks on their own aren't great. They're designed to combo with each other and combo with my foundations. Toya's going to struggle more because they only have one piece of the engine. But no.
So okay, let's have a quick scan over. Are we happy with this list as it is? Like, is there anything you want to change now? Everyone's in that list. Like, I'm pretty happy with how this sits. Like,
I'd want to move Deku.
Literally, the only thing I would do is move Overhaul to the bottom, the very top of A, just because I don't think anything deserves necessarily to be an S at the moment.
I wanted to move Deku up so then it would look prettier and it'd all be uniform. So you'd have 4 on the top, and then we'd have a nice 12 there, and it'd be very aesthetically pleasing, rather than like
no.
I think the hype and the theory crafting alone has Overhaul deserving S. But I think that because of how over theory crafted is, he's going to go straight down.
Yeah, no, I think I'm happy with the list, and I think like if we're being realistic here, we're putting R2 pet picks probably at the top of C, right?
Yeah. Apple Daddy Nathan did send me that list. It looks absolutely hilarious, and now thanks to you and thanks to my off one obsession, I have enough ultimate combinations to test this out. So I will probably play that at one of the provisionals I go to in Southampton, just to see what their reactions would be.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm more than happy with that. I think that's great. And, the pet picks would probably go high C, low B. Especially Lotlock. I think Lotlock is a low B just because of how controlling he is, and especially I'm very disappointed in the foundation that's in the Plus Ultra for him, and I'm very disappointed in Jasco for not having the Plus Ultras out yet. They are legal in 4.5 days. Well, not even that, 4 and a bit days.
There's clearly a reason for that, but so yeah, I think that kind of brings to end our set 5 tier list. Do you want to move on to set 4 this evening?
I am more than happy to move on to set 4 because set 4 has less characters than we've got here. So
okay, well we'll do a quick cut here, just because we're going to publish this on YouTube. So thanks everyone for watching on the YouTube. So press the buttons, the like, subscribe, all that, comment, the algorithm.